Too many people overcomplicate the cleaning of your wheels and tires, and social media doesn't exactly help that situation. There are many TikTokers, YouTube influencers and so on that will have you believe that you need 5 different types of chemicals and multiple different tools to clean your cars. It's down to the difference between want and need. What do you really need to keep your wheels and tires nice and clean? I'm going to break it down, be a little bit anti-social media, and show you a simple way of doing it that doesn't break the bank. Now, over the years, I have amassed a hell of a collection of products to use to clean my wheels. And honestly, thinking about it as the years have gone by, I don't need half of these, but I did want them at some point in time, either to test them, try them out. Maybe I just found something new and interesting, but I'm going to narrow it down to the things you do and the things you don't need. I have multiple things like the full set of wheel woolies, which are brilliant, but not exactly necessary, depending on what you're doing. If you're just looking after your normal household car, you don't need to go too crazy. If you're not really a detailer, you're just looking for something to keep them nice and clean, you don't need these. That's probably a 60 or 70 quid set right there. All you really need, I mean, I've got loads of extra brushes, I've got loads of different sizes of brushes, different stiffnesses of brushes, other wheel woolly types, other tire brushes, some that are good, some that are not so good. These, useless, don't need them. Let's break it down to what you really need. The best thing is, one, a pressure washer, if you have one. If you don't have one, don't worry about it, but it will help the situation, because I've said this on the channel many times before. If you can rinse off and remove most of the loose dirt from your car, the more you remove now, the less you have to fight with later on. I would recommend ignoring all of the fancy accessories, the bucket buddies, and all these extra brushes. I'll keep that one because that's a good one. I'm going to make it nice and simple. A bucket for clean water. That's just to rinse out your tools. Okay? It doesn't have to be a special bucket. It doesn't have to be one of these big 20-litre buckets. It can just be a standard basic small bucket just to rinse out your brushes and your tools. Ideally, some sort of inner spoke brush, a thing like this. I know it's misshapen and all that stuff, but that'll come to life again very shortly. Something like this to go in between your spokes to get in there into the gaps. Okay, you want to do some of the inside of the barrel, so a brush like that is perfect. If you want to go around your wheel arches, it's not really the wheels and tires, but another thing like this, looks a bit like a toilet brush, is good. And that's generally the time that you would do that job, is scrubbing around there. These oversized, ridiculous, crazy tire sidewall brushes are not necessary. It doesn't have to be anything particularly stiff. One of my favorites is this one. It comes from Detail Factory, and it's a fantastic tire scrubbing brush. It's got the right kind of combination of softness of the bristles, but it's not too soft. It's stiff, but it's not too stiff. It's somewhere in between. Very ergonomic, very good. You want some sort of brush to get into the wheel nuts and get around those areas. So you want something small, like a sash brush like this. It doesn't have to be expensive. This one was from Valet Pro and it was not expensive. Just a perfect little brush to get into those little areas. Mitts are totally acceptable if that's the kind of thing you want to do. If you want to get around the back of your spokes, again, some people find it very necessary to go around the back of the spokes. Other people don't really care. So if you don't care, you don't need something like that. Something that just looks after the face of the wheel, gets into the barrels a bit, and something to scrub down your tires is fine. Now, normally when I'm washing the car, I'll make sure to use a citrus pre-wash or a snow foam, something like that, to help soften and help to remove some of the more stubborn dirt on the car. I will also do that to the wheels and tires, because why wouldn't I? At the end of the day, I'm trying to make sure that I am removing as much dirt as possible so I don't have to fight with so much later on. I haven't done that in this case because I'm not washing the car just now. I don't have the time. I'm just making this video. So I have not already previously attacked the wheels and tires with any kind of chemical product. I have Garage Therapy Zero decon shampoo, mixed it 10-to-1 dilution ratio, so that's 45 milliliters of the shampoo in this bottle and 450 milliliters of water. And I'm just literally, once the trigger starts working, I'm going to spray that liberally all over the wheels and tires. I'm doing the tires as well because many people do wonder, why would you want to clean tires? It's like wearing a nice pair of shoes that you've got all dirty and you haven't cleaned them up before you go out. They don't look right. So it goes to that kind of situation where you want to make sure your tires are clean and nice as well as your wheels. If they are mismatching, something doesn't look right, does it? So that's what I'm doing. Spraying this on just like I would apply it to any other part of the car. You have to remember that alloy wheels, if you have factory alloy wheels, even if you have most aftermarket alloy wheels, they are generally painted wheels. So treat this just like any other painted surface. The only ones that aren't painted are generally proper chrome rims. They're the only ones that won't really have paint on them. Otherwise, this is a painted surface. This is to protect the metal underneath. So treat it like a painted surface. Spray on your pre-wash and leave it for a few minutes to do its thing and help to remove it later with the pressure washer. At this point, they actually look really not bad. You have to get up close to see the real problems, and there is a bit of staining on there. There's a bit of dirt and grime that won't get penetrated by that pre-wash. So we need to go in with an actual stronger chemical, something designed to clean your wheels and also to help agitate that detergent and move it around to give it a little bit of extra strength, a little bit of help to move that dirt off the wheels. That's where you need a wheel cleaner. Now, honestly, you could go and buy any wheel cleaner you like. They're all pretty much the same, let's be honest. There are a few heavy hitters out there, but for the majority of those on the market, there aren't too many that stand out and shine from the rest of them. So a general purpose all-wheel cleaner will do the job fine. I've gone for this. This happens to be Valet Pro's Bilberry because it's a dilutable wheel cleaner, so it's actually better value for money. You can buy it in a litre form. I don't know if you can maybe get it bigger than that, but I bought it in a litre a long time ago. It's an old product, it's been around for ages, but it's a really, really good wheel cleaner, and it's good value for money instead of one of these ready-to-use products that you will rip through quite quickly. Same situation as before though. Spray this onto your wheel liberally, let it do its thing for a minute before you come round and grab your tools. Now personally, I like to go into the barrels first because it's going to be bringing foam out and dirt out. I'll give that a rinse off. That's letting other wheel cleaner do its thing on the face of the wheel. So I'll grab a brush like this, very simple and straightforward, and I will give it a pre-douse of that wheel cleaner on there because you don't want to go in with a dry tool. You want to make sure that it's got some product on it. You could use a wheel shampoo in a bucket, dunk it in there and use that, but you don't have to. Remember, we're trying to make this simple and straightforward and just get in to the barrels as best you can. We're not expecting perfection here. Remember, you'll have brake calipers to work around in some situations. If you have brake discs on the back of your car, that might be a bit of an old school thing, isn't it? Because, you know, back in the day, it was drum brakes on the back and it was discs on the front. And yeah, I think there might be a few still out there. But yeah, you're going to have calipers to work around, things like that. So we're not expecting you to go crazy. But you can see, just by doing this, I'm pulling dirt out. You can see that muddy, mucky foam on there. That means I'm moving dirt around and I'm pulling it out of the wheel. Also remember, when you're using chemicals, wear protection. I'm only using it on one hand because I'm only using one hand for this job. But, you know, if you're the kind of person that likes to get your hands in, make sure you wear some chemical protection for your skin, okay? Top tip. That is all the muck I've been pulling out of the wheels. Let's see what it looks like on the rinse off. So there's already a decent difference there. The wheel is looking even cleaner than it did before, although again, you have to be up close to see it. Maybe just the chemicals and then the pressure washer is enough for you. And if you're happy with that, great. But we're going a little bit further here. We've done the barrels. Now we need to work on the spokes and the face of the wheel. Now you could go really cheap. This is an old brush I bought from Asda years ago, and I'll tell you what, it's still a really good brush. It's got flocked bristles, it's got a rubberized edge on it, which means if you accidentally hit your wheels, you're not going to damage them so easily. Because remember, it is a painted surface. A thing like that cost me a couple of quid and it was great. However, it just looks old and horrible. So I went with a more modern, nicer version. This is the one from Vican. This is a wheel face brush. And you can see it's got nice flocked bristles, which come flared out at the edges there. Still has the nice rubber on it, and it's just a bit more compact and easy to use. And you do the same situation again. Spray some wheel cleaner on there. We don't need to let it sit now, so we'll just spray some on the face brush, and we're just going to use this to go over the faces of the spokes. Now that's done. I'm not going to rinse it off yet. I need to get into the wheel nuts, and that's a bit of a tight situation. That's why you want a small brush like this one. Again, this is the Valet Pro. It's a 16mm brush, I think is what that's called anyway. Again, throw some wheel cleaner in there. You don't have to go crazy with it. And get into your wheel nuts. Wiggle it around, twist it around, get it into those tight areas. While you're at it, if you find that you've got any corners in between the spokes that you're not able to get in there with your bigger wheel face brush, this is perfect for that kind of situation. It helps to get into the tighter, narrower areas and really work it as where you need it. Before I get to the rinse off, I'm going to concentrate on the tires. I'm going to use the Garage Therapy Zero Decon shampoo at 10 to 1. Again, I'm going to spray that onto the tires liberally, give that a good soak, and then grab my tire scrubbing brush, throw some product on there as well, and then just give it some back and forth. The foam is normally going to come up white if your tires are nice and clean, and it'll come up brown if there's some grime in there. This is coming out a little bit brown. It's not too bad. Now, some people might be asking why I'm doing this before washing the car, because generally this is the next step after pre-washing the car. And that's because some of the foam and some of the chemicals have flicked up onto the paint. I don't want to have a clean car and then flick things onto the paint where I've got to take them off again. So I'd rather just do the wheels first, get them out of the way. Wheel cleaners do tend to be kind of heavy hitting, especially with some of the acid reactive ones like the iron fallout type. You don't want that to sit on your paint for too long and possibly dry out and cause issues. So if you do your wheels and tires first, then when you come to the wash process, you won't have to worry about them because all the rinse water will be coming down. You can rinse off the wheels. Everything will be fine. Let's rinse these off. It really doesn't get much simpler than that. You don't need loads of products and loads of tools to get a nice clean wheel and tire. TikTok will have you believe you need something like this to do this. And, okay, yeah, it looks cool, but it's an unnecessary step. It's only necessary if you think it's necessary for you personally. After buying loads and loads of products and spending loads and loads of money, I've realized I can knock down the number of products that I use to get a successful job to very, very little, and it makes it so much cheaper and straightforward. Use what you think is best. Go and read reviews for the type of products you're interested in. Go and check out other YouTube videos to see what they're using, what they're doing. Don't just rely on my word. This is just my experience of a little over 10 years of doing this. In fact, it's closer to 15. And honestly, I've just realized that there's just too much misinformation or people showing you things you really, really don't need. If you're looking for the basics, the lowdown on just what you need instead of wasting your money on other crazy products, that's what I'm here to give you. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll see when my next video is uploaded. If you have any comments, questions or suggestions, get down in them below. I'd love to hear back from you guys. But anyway, I've been Specky. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.